Hey, fellow expeditionists, we're in Tennessee.
And we're backpacking at Big South Fork.
That's right, we are going to see some arches, some waterfalls, and some beautiful scenery.
So smash that like button.
And make sure you subscribe, and then join us for this amazing adventure. Big South Fork National River and Recreation Area encompasses 125,000 acres of the Cumberland Plateau on the Kentucky and Tennessee state lines. We had backpacked a couple other sections of the park in 2017, and we're finally returning to explore the west side of the park in the Twin Arches area, but we only had roughly 24 hours to do so. That's our first arch of the Twin Arches. I've got the camera in super view right now to be able to fit it in. If I used wide or linear, you would not be able to see the arch very well in this video. So that is why a lot of times you'll see the fisheye effect on my videos, because I'm trying to capture more in the frame. Love me some good bluffage. This is a pretty good way to start a little trip, isn't it?
Yeah.
Straight into the arches and rock formations. Of course, with the sun being close to high noon, it creates a lot of glare for my camera. Really neat. I like this. It's just massive stone. I think I like this arch better than the first one. Love me some good rocks. How about you, Catfish?
Yeah, there's nice rocks.
Yeah. I'm going to call this my pet rock. He's a big boy. So yeah, we were talking about what gives some of the soil in this area its red coloring, red and oranges coloring. I'm not sure if it'll show up on my camera or not. You can see all the rustiness in these areas. Definitely some iron in here dissolving. Alright, we've seen the arches from below. Now we're going to go on top of them. So this here is the top of the south arch. But I believe there's going to be a really cool view out this way. Let's go see. What do you think of that view?
Pretty cool.
Not too bad, huh, Catfish?
No.
These velvet ants are also known as cow killer wasps, as the females seen here are actually wingless wasps. Its sting packs a wallop, as it is considered to be one of the most painful stings in the insect world. We'll admire from a distance. Well, you guys know how much we love Red River Gorge there in Kentucky. Of course, here in Big South Fork, it's got a lot of similar features. We're just on the Tennessee side, so, and cool views, and a, what do you call that? A cow killer?
Yeah.
I think it's a velvet ant. Twin Arches are really cool, but we spent a little more time there exploring them than anticipated, so we got to make up some time. Hitting the trail kind of hard at the moment, heading towards Charit Creek Lodge. Probably stop for some lunch there, get back going. Alright, made it to Charit Creek Lodge. We're just going to walk around just to check it out real fast. It is technically open here during this pandemic times to overnight guests only. And it's not for day use, but I don't think anybody's going to complain about us just walking around to see it. Charit Creek Lodge is a wilderness lodge that is only accessible by hiking, biking, or horseback, and is completely off the grid. We had hoped to walk around the old buildings, but an attendant quickly informed us that due to the pandemic, only registered guests of the lodge were allowed on the premises, so we had to turn back. So our route doesn't really take us onto the Sheltoe Trace. We just skim across it here at the Charit Creek Lodge, but we had to go across that bridge. This was a really cool bridge, and thought that here at this creek would be an awesome place for us to have our lunch. Tackett Cabin and Graves. Some of the old homesteads, what remains of them, here in the Big South Fork. So where you're standing at, Catfish, would have been the old Tackett cabin.
Coolio.
And there's their fireplace. Those are some mighty old gravestones. 1863. Alright, we got us a major intersection right here. So, Jake's place is right up the path here. But Slave Falls and such is this direction. And that is the direction we're going in. Alright, we are on the connector trail between the Twin Arches Loop and the Slave Falls Loop. So we've been keeping an eye out for potential campsites. We ran across this one, just literally right off the main trail. It's a nice big used site, so we don't have to disturb any land that's not already been disturbed. And it's on a small hill right above the creek. It even features a little waterfall right over there. What do you think, Catfish? Is this our place for the night?
I think it says.
Alright, let's take it, and then we'll maybe do some more exploring afterward. Well, camp is set up, but it's still too early to bed down, or whatever you want to call it. It's about 5 p.m. Indiana time, 4 p.m. here, Tennessee. And we're going to hit the trail and do a little bit of hiking with our packs slightly lighter. Do a little loop and come back. We knew we wouldn't have time to fully do the next loop down the trail, but there were a couple of features we hoped to see before the sun set on us. We had to race against the sunset and against our own desire to constantly stop and explore. Not an easy task for us. The legend of Slave Falls goes back to the early 1800s, when these rock shelters and overhangs were supposedly used by runaway slaves who avoided recapture by hiding in this remote area. The name Slave Falls has been used ever since. And there's one big rock shelter. There's one long waterfall. Oh. Well, catfish. This rock shelter is your arch. There's the eye of the needle right there.
It sure is. That's what I was thinking.
It's the eye of the needle. Oh, that's pretty unique. Not what I was expecting.
No.
That's
Hope
neat.
this isn't Sasquatch ambush territory.
Yeah.
Don't want to be jumped on from above, do we?
Is that like a cave that goes all the way through to the other hole? Like right there, you get that hole, and then there's a hole on this side. And it's like a little alcove. It's probably a Bigfoot sleeping in there right now.
Maybe.
And there it is. There's your hole. It actually looks like the eye of a needle.
Yeah, it does.
Well, what did we find here, Catfish?
We found Needle Arch.
Yeah. The funny thing is when we found that little arch back there, just a little hole in the top of the rock shelter, I thought that was Needle Arch because it kind of looked like a needle's eye. So I guess if that was the needle's eye, here's the actual needle. Yeah, that's a really neat arch. But realistically, all of this rock is just the erosion and all the marks it leaves on it, on the rock. It's just really cool. That sun is dropping fast on us. And you think you gotta remember when you're in the hills and mountains and places like this, that sun may not set for another hour, but when you're in the middle of the mountains or ravines, you lose the sunlight a lot faster. So we've hiked all the way around to the opposite side of the Slave Falls. Slightly different view.
I've been seeing a lot of those on the ground like that lately.
Well, I guess when the organism under the ground has ran its life course, it'll pop the mushroom out of the ground like that to spread its spores. It just happens sporadically.
I guess underground it must have not had mushroom.
Oh, hopefully it was a really fun guy. Well, we made it back from our little adventure out to Slave Falls and Needle Arch and all. And as you can see, sun is setting. It's definitely getting dark here. So we're kind of in a rush to get our dinner made. What time is it, Catfish?
It is 7:30 in Indiana time, so it is 6:30 here.
6:30 here, but sun sets around 7, just after 7. So we're trying something new for us. O-Meals, home-style meal, 2 servings of pepperoni pizza. Yeah, pepperoni pizza while backpacking. So yeah, it's got everything included, so we're going to give it a shot and see what it's like. All right. Give it a try?
Sure.
Not bad, huh?
No.
Unfortunately, I lost a bunch of video from the next day. We had a great hike back out, finishing the other side of the Twin Arches Loop and seeing some of the most impressive cliff faces and rock shelters we've ever encountered in Big South Fork. Hope you enjoyed this little adventure. Until next time, peace out.